In light of Andrew and Tristan Tate being arrested just weeks after sitting down to do a podcast with enemy of the channel, Paolo Zampoli, and just hours after attending an event that was hosted by Paolo Zampoli, I figured this would be a good time to just do a quick overview on a few things about the Tate brothers that I'd like to talk about, as it's been years since we've talked about them. Share a very interesting connection that Paolo Zampoli has to the Tate brothers' original case, and quickly remind everyone who Andrew and Tristan Tate's father was. Emery Andrew Tate Jr., Tristan and Andrew's father, was a chess player who served in the U.S. Air Force, which is where he would be scouted to work as a Russian linguist for the CIA. Emery Andrew Tate Jr. would ultimately go on to be discharged by the U.S. Air Force after formerly being diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, which makes a lot of sense why the CIA wanted him. But that should be a very glaring red flag within this entire story. Like, I know collectively we use the term narcissist fairly often, but a formal diagnosis of a narcissistic personality disorder is an entire other level than like displaying toxic or narcissistic behaviors here and there. And I am by no means saying that people who are formally diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder are all evil people who need to be shunned from society. I am not saying that whatsoever. I'm simply stating that there is a lot that goes into the formal diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. But since we have that factual data point surrounding Andrew Tate's father, it may help us shed some light on why Tristan and Andrew Tate move through the world the way that they do. It doesn't excuse it, but it might help explain it. Medical professionals tell us that it's a combination of genetics, environmental factors, and family dynamics are all contributing factors within someone who has narcissistic personality disorder. And if we look back at the publicly known information about Emery Andrew Tate Jr.'s father, Andrew Tate's grandfather, we will find that he was accused of being horrifically abusive to his family, Andrew Tate's father and his siblings, and Andrew Tate's grandmother. So just put a pin in that for 1 second. Before being discharged from the United States Air Force, Emery Andrew Tate Jr. served as a sergeant. While stationed in East England, he met a woman named Eileen Ashley, and the two began a whirlwind romance. Emery Andrew Tate Jr. brought Eileen Ashley back to the United States with him, and he would go on to marry her in 1985. And from there, the couple would go on to have 3 children, Andrew, Tristan, and the often forgotten Tate sister, Janine. Eventually, Andrew Tate's parents would divorce, and his mother would move herself and the children back to England. According to the Tate family, the divorce occurred because Emery Tate Jr. could not be loyal to Eileen. He was also very abusive to her and the children. Okay, I told you to put a pin in this earlier. You can take the pin out now. Do we see how like the cycle of abuse is continuing generationally throughout the men in this family? Perhaps due to untreated mental health issues, and in Andrew and Tristan's case, getting rewarded for bad and terrible behavior has created like this family dynamic that cannot figure out how to or has no desire to break the cycle. Andrew Tate's father also was an avid chess player. He won the United States Armed Forces Chess Championship 5 different times while serving in the Indiana State Chess Hall of Fame. He was just a very impressive figure within the chess world. Emery Andrew Tate Jr. would pass away after suffering a heart attack in the middle of a chess tournament back in 2015 at the age of 56. With like all of that being said, Andrew Tate and his brother having a father who worked and was recruited by the CIA, specifically on operations that would require a Russian speaker, and it's really not lost on me that Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan were arrested after spending a lot of time with Paolo Zampoli, a figure who moves between international governments with ease and has deep ties to Russia. Could be absolutely nothing, but it just seems something worth putting in the back of your mind. I also think it's worth reminding you all that all of this chaos with the Tate brothers rush houring charges started in Romania back in 2022. That case is still ongoing. There have been a lot of stalls and a lot of legal issues, but it is still active and ongoing. But then in 2024, the United Kingdom did decide to investigate and prosecute the Tate brothers, and they issued arrest warrants for both Andrew and Tristan. Those were the arrest warrants that they were picked up on a few days ago. They're currently facing 59 different charges in the UK. But in April of 2026, just a few months back, Romania lifted a ton of different restrictions that they had originally placed on the Tate brothers while their case was actively being investigated. So like their travel restrictions were lifted, and they no longer had to appear at mandatory check-ins with Romanian authorities. And no one really knows how the Tate brothers were able to get so much leniency beginning just a few months ago from Romania. But I do know someone who is very close with the president of Romania, Paolo Zampoli, the guy that the Tate brothers have been spending a lot of time with recently. So I just thought that was like an interesting amalgamation of information to share with you guys. And I really hope this entire situation is fully investigated, not just like the Tate brothers' charges in Romania, not just their charges in the UK, not just the things they've done here, but strings were pulled within the administration to get men like Andrew and Tristan Tate into Washington, D.C., into the United States in general. Will an investigation reveal that you guys are actually working overtime to get the worst of the worst in, as long as the net worth next to their name looks right? I don't know, just a thought, just wanted to share that with you guys. I'll see you in the next one.